Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at noon.
I know that there's going to be law enforcement here as well today, and they'll be marching with us. And it makes me happy to know that there are a lot of people that are on the right side of this.
A breaking news alert. People are protesting in Grand Forks right now against the death of George Floyd, and organizers say they want this to be a peaceful one. Valley News Team's Joshua Piguero joins us live from Grand Forks with more on what's happening out there this afternoon. Joshua?
I want to let you know that it just started at around noon. As you can see behind me, they're marching, yelling justice, no peace. Our photographers are going to pan out and show you. It's a wide array of people here, obviously from different races, different ethnicities here to support George Floyd and the killing. A few of the people that we spoke to actually aren't from Grand Forks. We spoke with a few people here that came all the way from smaller towns in Minnesota. There were water bottles being distributed. The crowd is continuing to get larger. This is supposed to last from 12 to 6. They're supposed to be marching. And again, this is supposed to be peaceful. As some of you remember last week in Fargo, in downtown businesses were vandalized. And even for a planned protest tomorrow happening in Fargo, the National Guard was called in. So Jordan, I'm gonna send it back to you in the studio. We're gonna continue covering this. So if they can follow Valley News Live Facebook page and the 5:30 and 6 o'clock shows for more information. Reporting live in Grand Forks, Joshua Piguero, Valley News Live.
Yeah, quite a few people there marching in the streets of Grand Forks, getting a look at that video. But yes, we'll have more on this throughout the day. Thank you, Joshua. And this afternoon at 1 o'clock, there will be a memorial for George Floyd in Minneapolis. Now, we will be carrying that live right here on Valley News Live, on valleynewslive.com, and on the VNL News app, as well as our Facebook page this afternoon. Also breaking news this afternoon, the North Dakota and Minnesota National Guard are expected to be on hand for the protest planned in Fargo tomorrow. The Minnesota National Guard is activated in Clay County because the governor says there are credible threats of violence. Right now, officials say the North Dakota National Guard will be stationed at Fargo City Hall, where a sit-in is expected. The Facebook page for the protest has 500 people interested in that event. New for you at noon, Fargo Police in the city of Fargo say Deputy Chief Todd Osmundson has been fired over his behavior at last weekend's protest turned riot. Now, Chief David Todd has suspended Deputy Chief Osmundson for 1 week of unpaid leave effective immediately. Osmundson was reportedly spotted in the crowd of protesters under cover on May 30th, holding a beer can and yelling obscenities about police. According to the release, he was acting on his own and did not have permission to do so. Chief Todd says that Osmundson has accepted full ownership of his actions. Also new at noon, a Moorhead man is facing 6 criminal charges also related to that downtown riot. 21-year-old Abdimanan Habib is charged with 4 felony counts, including arming rioters, endangering by fire or explosion, conspiracy to commit criminal mischief, and attempt to commit simple assault on a peace officer. Court documents say that police were able to identify Habib from security camera footage as they had dealt with him before. Officers say Habib was seen picking up what appeared to be a Molotov cocktail and throwing it at police. He was later seen on surveillance inside JL Beers as others were looting and damaging the restaurant. JL Beers estimated their damage to be over $20,000. Taking that live look outside this afternoon, again, we're treated to blue skies and sunshine, but that could be changing. There is a threat for storms later on. For what we can expect, let's head on over to First Alert Storm Team meteorologist Justin Fanfarelli.
And thank you, Jordan. Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, temperatures on their way up as we've been warm over the past week or so. Current temperatures look like this up and down the Red River Valley, close to 80 degrees. The current temperature outside into the lower 70s, Lakes Country out toward Devil's Lake, and mid 70s into the Jamestown area and into northwestern Minnesota. A little breezy into the northern valley. We do have wind speeds mainly from a westerly direction, around 15 to maybe as high as 30 miles per hour. From a southerly direction, lighter winds in the southern valley. And we got mostly sunny skies across most of the region, but we do have some cloud cover, especially as you make your way south of Fargo and into Lakes Country, some rain showers down towards Sisseton. And across the region, sunshine. Looking off to the west, though, we do have a disturbance that is going to make its way through. It'll be here by the late afternoon into the early evening. Some showers and thunderstorms possible, marginal risk of severe weather. So we'll be watching that, especially in our southern counties, as temperatures temperatures will rise into the lower 80s for the day today. Now we're watching an even better chance of severe weather as we go through the weekend. We'll have the details on that coming up a little later on in the newscast.
A lot to watch out for. Thank you, Justin. We have new information on the assault in Moorhead that had an apartment sectioned off with crime tape all morning. Police are now saying one man has serious injuries and the situation is considered a significant assault. Now, this was the scene here just after midnight at 1615 20th Street South in Moorhead. When officers arrived, they found two people who were rushed to the hospital. One was described as having serious injuries. Police aren't saying how the pair are doing right now. Since one victim has those serious injuries, the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension is called in to help process the crime scene. No other information is being released. Fire crews in West Fargo responded to a scene early this morning after a garage went up in flames. Firefighters say that the garage was fully engulfed in flames when they arrived. There was smoke damage to the house while the detached garage and a van were destroyed. The family living there woke up when someone knocked on their door and told them of the fire. Everyone was able to get out safely. The cost of damages and the cause is still under investigation. We have new information on COVID-19 in the region. The state of Minnesota is reporting another 29 deaths from the virus, bringing the total to 1,115. Of those deaths, 896 happened in a nursing home or long-term care facility. 404 new cases are being reported, bringing the total active case count to 3,668. 21,490 people are listed as recovered. In North Dakota, there are 27 new cases of COVID-19 reported. 2,209 people are listed as recovered, meaning there are 431 active cases in the state. No new deaths have been reported. The death toll still stands at 66. 32 patients are currently in the hospital. There are new questions today over law enforcement's response to the protests against police brutality after a peaceful protest was broken up by police when a curfew passed. Jerica Duncan is outside Brooklyn's Barclays Center where that protest started.
The other 3 officers are being charged.
Hundreds of protesters in New York City erupted in cheers after hearing the 3 other former officers involved in George Floyd's death will now face charges. What did you make of that?
I think it's the right decision, obviously, but I still don't think it's enough. It's a bigger problem than just George Floyd. This isn't the first and it won't be the last.
The issue will be whether they can take it through the court system and have convictions.
Hands up, don't shoot! Hands up, don't shoot!
New York protesters continued peaceful demonstrations Wednesday. But after an 8 p.m. curfew went into effect, NYPD officers cracked down on demonstrators in Brooklyn. Witnesses say there were no calls for the crowd to disperse, and in a chaotic scene, police used their batons to physically move a large crowd of protesters.
They're pushing us! They're pushing us! They're pushing us!
Some fell to the ground and others were restrained.
The protesters were actually moving as they requested, and they were still pushing them and hitting them. I saw cops actually diving at protesters. One person got hurt.
We're just walking, we're moving.
Police also seen chasing some of the protesters as they left the area. It was in sharp contrast to Seattle, where the mayor canceled the city's nightly curfew because of the size and peaceful nature of the crowd. And in Detroit, the demonstrations were also allowed to run long. Police Chief James Craig.
They're peaceful, as everybody can see. There's no problems. They want their voices heard, and we support that.
Jerica Duncan, CBS News.
Today, Virginia Governor Ralph Northam is expected to announce plans to remove an iconic statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee and put it somewhere else for the time being. Coming up here at noon, how one pair of glasses is now letting a boy see color for the first time. But next, Justin is in with everything you need to know about the potential storms that could be hitting the valley.